either to make the headlines, but one thing I can say, this time she definitely did. Now, I get what she was trying to say, but it's a lot of people on here that is mad. Let's head on over to X and check it all out right now, man. And I hope everybody's having a great day. It's kind of unfortunate Caitlin Clark won't be facing off against Paige Beckers, but at the end of the day, we still get some fever basketball. Now, with all that being said, this current clip right here is going viral. Correlation.
Athletic institutions encounter major business and performance obstacles when key athletes become inaccessible for prominent competitions. Recent circumstances have demonstrated how individual health issues can influence wider institutional goals while simultaneously revealing fundamental squad cohesion difficulties that affect sustained achievement. The unavailability of premier athletes from expected showcase events generates considerable financial consequences for media partners, facility managers, and league promotional programs. Broadcasting companies that allocate substantial resources to programming based on star athlete appearances encounter immediate income reduction when those attractions become inaccessible.
The Fever, by 35-17, doubled them up in the fourth quarter. All right, they showed Stephanie White at one point. She's standing with her arms folded, listening to Austin Kelly run the show, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, can you not be training a manager with 1:50 left?
Experienced athletes usually accept mentoring duties when collaborating with younger colleagues, especially those receiving considerable focus and pressure. The demonstration of protective reactions and guidance purposes represents typical professional relationship formation within competitive athletics environments. Media understanding of athlete comments can occasionally generate debate when remarks are viewed as reducing or condescending rather than supportive. The difference between constructive guidance and suggested criticism frequently depends on situation, manner, and audience understanding rather than speaker purpose.
Stated they all got to play better. That's nice to say, but we haven't seen that yet. Depression, CCAKG stated Natasha Howard on being Caitlin Clark teammate. Now, let's play this clip right here, man, and I want to know you guys' thoughts. Listen to this.
Were you excited to play with Caitlin?
I was.
Yeah. So talk about that. Your first impressions of her?
My first impression of her when I first seen them, like, dang, like, this is what everybody's talking about right here. Yeah. This girl right here.
Squad cohesion conversations regularly include references to responsibility allocation and shared accountability distribution. When experienced athletes propose that featured colleagues should depend more extensively on supporting roster members, it can be understood as either squad building encouragement or indirect criticism of individual method. The comparison between university and professional basketball environments offers situation for discussing athlete adaptation and responsibility development. College programs frequently demand individual athletes to carry greater accountability due to talent differences, while professional squads theoretically provide more balanced talent allocation.
In a game like this, can you be running the show because you're the coach? Question mark? I mean, what in the hell is going on? Somebody said, Stephanie Sides is killing us. And I said, I don't know if we want to insult Christy Sides like that at this point. Can we not do that? This team is horrible in the
Athlete development discussions usually emphasize shared achievement over individual accomplishment, reflecting professional athletics culture that prioritizes squad successes. Veterans frequently encourage younger athletes to trust colleagues and utilize available support frameworks rather than attempting to individually influence results. Interview scheduling can affect understanding and interpretation of athlete remarks, especially when they happen during phases of squad struggle or individual difficulty. Comments that might be perceived favorably during successful phases can seem critical or inappropriate when squads encounter obstacles.
Here, just getting to know Caitlin more and stuff like that. Like, she reminds me of a little sister, cause she's only 22 years old. Like, she reminds me of a little sister that I could put on my wing and just guide her and just be that vet for her and just let her know, like, you're not alone with this. I got your back, like, no matter what, like, cause we know you got a lot of stuff on your shoulders right now, like, let me take some of that off your shoulder for you. Like, you don't got to do everything on your own.
Okay. Has it been
The equilibrium between individual superiority and squad integration represents ongoing obstacle for featured athletes transitioning from college to professional basketball. Learning to optimize personal contribution within squad situation demands adjustment phase that veteran guidance can support. Media reporting frequently amplifies minor remarks into significant debates, especially when they involve prominent athletes or squads. Social media conversation can transform routine interview material into major discussion points that influence squad relationships and public understanding. Professional basketball increasingly showcases global recognition frameworks where athletes across different leagues receive comparative assessment. The creation of greatest athlete conversations reflects expanding interconnectedness between men's and women's professional basketball.
Fourth quarter. And once again, it is inefficient shooting that is a massive part of the problem. Okay, and look, I understand Kelsey Mitchell ended up scoring 20, but at one point she was 3 of 10. Aaliyah Boston, 4 of 13. I mean, there's no sizable
Recognition standards for elite athlete status usually include statistical accomplishment, competitive achievement, cultural influence, and transformational impact on their respective athletics. These multifaceted assessment benchmarks reflect evolution in how athletic greatness is measured and understood. Young athletes entering professional basketball frequently possess sophisticated understanding of both historical accomplishment and contemporary superiority across gender boundaries. Their viewpoints on greatness regularly reflect broader appreciation for diverse contributions to basketball formation.
So you competed against her, but now you're her teammate. So I'm curious, like, what are you learning now that you're getting, for lack of a better, a courtside seat to what she does shoulder and what she does experience, but also her as a basketball player?
She experienced a lot because she like everybody know that she can shoot the heck out the ball and she could pass, but just letting her know that you don't have to do everything.
Right.
The inclusion of emerging athletes in historical greatness conversations illustrates confidence in their direction and recognition of early career achievements. Such assessments frequently consider potential influence alongside current accomplishment when evaluating extended legacy possibilities. Cultural impact and contest transformation represent increasingly significant elements in greatness assessment, supplementing traditional statistical and championship standards. Athletes who fundamentally change their athletics' visibility and appeal frequently receive recognition beyond pure basketball measures.
Girthy bigs on the Sparks at all, and Aaliyah Boston should have been down low dominating. 12 points. I mean, she had a double-double, 12 and 10, but tonight it looked like an Angel Reese double-double. Unfortunately, she did have 5 steals. Ari McDonald, she wasn't great from the field, but she did drop 14 points.
Audience involvement and business influence offer additional situation for assessing athlete significance within their respective athletics. Competitors who create unprecedented interest and participation frequently earn consideration for elite status despite relatively brief professional careers. Cross-gender recognition in professional basketball reflects expanding appreciation for superiority regardless of league or competitive situation. Athletes who illustrate respect for achievements across different basketball institutions frequently receive positive reception for their inclusive viewpoints.
There is the quote that has her in hot water. Now, I feel where she's coming from. And now she's going to go into this a little deeper, but listen to this next part, guys, because this next part is when things kind of go south for Natasha Howard, bruh, with her speaking about Caitlin Clark, bruh. Listen to this.
You have to do in Iowa. You have great teammates and phenomenal players around you that
The development of basketball assessment standards includes considerations of entertainment worth, inspirational influence, and cultural significance alongside traditional competitive measures. This broader framework permits more comprehensive evaluation of athlete contributions to athletics formation. Professional athletics commentary increasingly emphasizes shared accomplishment and mutual support rather than individual dominant stories. This change reflects understanding that sustainable achievement demands squad cohesion and collaborative superiority superiority rather than singular talent. Athlete interview material offers insight into squad culture and individual connections that may not be apparent through contest observation alone. These discussions reveal relationships that influence competitive performance and institutional stability.
Added 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Sophie Cunningham had an early spark, 10 points, and she had 4 steals. It was rough. Natasha Howard still looks brutally slow and old out there. And there's just simply no way they let Kelsey Plum take over this game in the fourth quarter.
Media preparation for professional competitors usually includes instruction on message clarity and interpretation awareness to prevent unintended debate. However, spontaneous interview responses can occasionally generate unexpected reaction regardless of preparation. Squad guidance frameworks frequently involve multiple veteran athletes who accept different mentoring positions based on their experience and character. The allocation of guidance duties helps ensure that younger athletes receive comprehensive support and formation. Professional basketball squads benefit from athletes who understand both individual superiority and shared achievement requirements. Veterans who can effectively communicate this equilibrium frequently serve as valuable connections between featured athletes and supporting roster members.
I could take that weight off your shoulder. You don't have to do everything. Like we expect you to knock down those clutch shots. Like that's what we expect you to do. But like overall, like you don't have to do everything. Like you don't like let us give us some of your pressure too. Like so you don't have to do too much and overwork yourself.
Yeah. Well, we're recording this on today is June 23rd. So as of today, we're about like, give or take a third of the way through the season.
The interpretation of protective reactions versus patronizing attitudes depends largely on delivery, situation, and audience predisposition. Identical comments can create completely different responses based on these variable elements. Social media amplification of interview material frequently removes nuance and situation that influence original meaning. Brief segments or quotes may not capture full discussion relationships that would clarify speaker purpose.
And it was a wrap. It was unbelievably awful. And look, somebody asked me tonight, how well do I think the Fever can play without Caitlin Clark? And I said, honestly, they should beat most teams. I can think of 2 teams off the bat that they blatantly should not be able to beat.
Professional athletics institutions must handle both internal squad cohesion and external understanding when athletes make public comments about colleagues. The equilibrium between authentic expression and strategic communication demands careful consideration. Athlete formation in professional basketball includes learning to navigate media duties while sustaining positive squad connections. This skill formation frequently demands time and experience to master effectively. The recognition of transformational athletes frequently happens during their careers rather than requiring historical viewpoint for proper assessment. Contemporary audiences increasingly recognize superiority in real time rather than waiting for career completion.
Which is crazy, third of the way. You're currently...
Now, it's crazy that Sue Bird actually timestamped this interview because it's almost like she knew some news was going to come out, which means that she probably knew that DeWanna Bonner was going to quit the team, bro. That's what I'm guessing. That's why she timestamped that, because she knew DeWanna Bonner was going to quit this damn team.
Basketball greatness conversations benefit from diverse viewpoints that consider multiple assessment standards and acknowledge superiority across different situations. Inclusive approaches to recognizing accomplishment reflect athletics development and expanding appreciation for varied contributions. Professional competitors who illustrate respect for colleagues across different leagues and competitive standards frequently model positive sportsmanship that enhances overall basketball culture. Such recognition helps build connections between different basketball communities and promotes mutual appreciation.
Well, as currently configured, the Liberty and the Lynx. All right? With Caitlin Clark, they could beat anybody. But a team like the Sparks, yeah, they should beat this team. And they were beating this team until they blew it. Caitlin Clark, right here. Here's your Caitlin Clark highlight. Drinking from a water bottle right here. That might have been.
The Indiana Fever institution experienced another devastating final quarter breakdown against the LA Sparks, surrendering what seemed to be a controllable advantage in spectacular manner during the concluding phase. The loss emphasized persistent late contest execution difficulties that have become characteristic of the franchise's performance throughout the present campaign. Statistical examination of the final quarter discloses the magnitude of Indiana's competitive collapse, with Los Angeles outscoring the home squad by a margin of 35 to 7 points during the decisive 12-minute phase. This dramatic scoring difference represents more than doubling their opponent's production when contests are usually decided by marginal variations.
Currently averaging 11.5 points, 5.5 rebounds. You guys are 6 and 7. So, a lot of expectations coming into the season, but you've also had a lot of injuries. People in and out of the roster is never easy, especially with a new team, new roster, all that. How would you describe this season so far for you, for the Indiana Fever?
We're still learning each other. A lot of people never played with, been coached.
The final score of 85 to 75 reflected a complete reversal of competitive momentum, as Indiana had sustained control through 3 quarters before experiencing systematic failure across multiple aspects of their performance. The breakdown encompassed both offensive execution and defensive intensity, generating compounding difficulties that proved insurmountable. Coaching choices during essential moments drew particular examination, with head coach Stephanie White seeming to delegate significant duties to assistant coaching personnel during critical late contest circumstances. With approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in a competitive event, observational reports noted White standing with arms folded while an assistant coach guided squad operations.
The highlight of the night at this point, if I'm being honest. Point forward, Aaliyah Boston, right roll it. Shot too strong. Let me just turn this down. She's going to drive down the court here. Oh, good Lord. She's going to throw the ball over. This is Sophie. This is one of those big threes from early in the game, and she knocked it down. Shooting inefficient.
This delegation of authority during pressure moments raised questions about guidance hierarchy and decision-making protocols within the institution. Traditional coaching duties usually demand head coaches to assume primary control during essential contest circumstances, rather than utilizing training opportunities for subordinate personnel members. Individual athlete performances disclosed mixed results despite the disappointing shared result. Kelsey Mitchell concluded with 20 points after struggling with early shooting efficiency, illustrating both individual resilience and the obstacles faced when primary offensive contributors experience difficult shooting phases.